Well, it's pretty noisy here this afternoon, and that's for a very good reason. We're out at Mac Park, and why are we here? We're here for the Australian National Historic Titles, and we're very, very lucky this afternoon because we've got Lindsay here to join us. G'day, Lindsay. How are you, mate?
Hello, Chris. How are you doing?
All right, Lindsay, tell us firstly a little bit about yourself, and then tell us about your motorbike.
Righto. Well, basically, Chris, I've been racing motorcycles for 56 years, you know.
So you've only just started, really?
It's only just started. Starting to get to know it, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I sort of get heavily into building complete motorbikes and all the rest of it, and just enjoying it, you know. It's just a good sport, you know. Yeah.
Nothing like racing around with a wind through your hair.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Keeps you out of the pub, you know.
And tell us a little bit about your motorbike, because I know a little bit about motorbikes, but I've never seen one like yours before. Tell us about it.
Okay, this is a British Anzani Claude Temple bike. Originally, this is a reproduction of a bike that was raced at Brooklands, which used to be a big circuit in England back in the 20s.
Oh, so it's a British bike?
That's right, yes. And so it's a fairly high-tech thing, 4 valves per cylinder, you know, all available in 1922, 23, and it's probably the quickest bike here in that particular pre-war class.
I was just going to say, does it get up and go, Lindsay?
That's right. Well, its sister bike did 159 mile an hour over at Lake Edna 4 years ago, you know, so it's fast for an early bike.
And how many of these you reckon are still kicking around?
Well, this is the only one racing in the world. There's about 3 others that we know of that sort of exist, but this is the only one racing, you know. I'm the only one silly enough to race a $100,000 motorbike, you know.
Well, there you go. How about that? The only one here in Australia racing, and there it is at Mac Park. Lindsay, have a great afternoon. When are you racing, mate?
We'll be on immediately after lunch for qualifying again, and then tomorrow is the main events.
All right, good luck to you, mate, and thank you for talking to us.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Lindsay. We're talking to Jeff. How are you, mate?
I'm good, yeah,
right,
real good.
Jeff, now, tell us, are you racing here today?
I am. I'm racing a sidecar, Period 4. The sidecar I'm racing was originally built in 1969, and it's a Lindsay Urquhart built bike. He built it to race at Bathurst.
Well, Lindsay, we just spoke to before. That's the one that he built.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It certainly is. He's a big name in sidecar racing in Australia, and built half of the sidecars that were raced during the 60s and 70s.
Oh, okay.
And this is one that he originally built then. Originally had a Triumph motor in it, and later on progressed to the Kawasaki motor that it now carries.
All right, so how quick is this thing?
Well, we get about 240 kilometres an hour down the straight at Phillip Island with it.
Excuse me, did you say 240 kilometres an hour?
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, these blokes are deadly serious here. They're not mucking around, okay? Okay, Jeff, let's have a look at this motorbike. And if you can just point out a couple of bits and bobs that are unique, like...
Yeah, well... It's one of the only 2-stroke sidecars that are racing currently. It's a 750 Kawasaki, triple cylinder. I've modified it a little bit. It's now getting about 120 horsepower.
Tricked it up a little, did you?
Just a little. Runs on methanol. And in the old terms, it does about 2 miles to the gallon.
So, you know, really, we won't be going to the shops in this.
No.
Well, you could put the groceries on the side there, though, Jeff.
Put the groceries on the side, and you'd get them home before they thawed out. But yeah,
all right.
It's a handful to ride. It's very physical. You'll notice the big brake lever I've got on there, which makes up for the lack of brakes. This is commonly called a front exit sidecar. So this is the sort of sidecar where you see the passengers hanging right out the front corner, as opposed to the modern styles where they just hang out the side at the back.
So you got a little bit of quiet in between races here, which is pretty unusual out here at Mac Park. And we've got the opportunity now to speak to Barry Horn. How are you, Barry?
Very well, thank you, Chris.
All right, mate. Now, listen, you're racing, obviously. You normally don't get around just like that. You're obviously going to have a race today.
We've got qualifying today. Right. So we've been out in one session. I'm third at the moment. And intend to go out there and improve that. I need to be on front rail of the grid.
Yeah.
And so
right up front.
Right up front, yeah. Well, front rail will do me because I launch off the line very well.
That's all right. So, and tell us about your motorbike, and not only just tell us about it, but tell me why it's better than anything else that's running here.
Well, actually, the design of the engine goes back into the 1950s. It was designed by Phil Irving, and Phil also designed the Repco Brabham. And I used to know Phil during my apprenticeship when I was working on building racing cars, actually, and got to know Phil very well. And Phil was never recognised for what he did with the Repco Brabhams. A lot of people think that Jack was involved in the engines, but he wasn't. So Phil's died now. He died in '92, and before he died, he always said that someone should reproduce these. And with our engineering business, we quite a large engineering business. We now have the ability to do that. And 7 years ago, myself and my brother Ken we took on the challenge, and it's still a 1955 looking engine, but internally it's more like a V8 supercar.
So the cutting edge of technology in an old motorbike. Is that what you're telling me, Barry?
So exactly. And what the situation now is that it's a Period 5 bike, which is in the later class, which is a pre-80 class that I'm in, and my competition's the Suzuki 4-cylinder, twin overcam, 4 valves per cylinder, and I'm out there on a 2-cylinder, 2 valves and push rods, and I'm up there with them.
Is that right?
And so it's very challenging and very satisfying.
How fast does she go?
Well, it depends on the circuit you're at. I think here you'll be at least 120 mile an hour, but down Phillip Island, which is quicker, you'd probably be looking at 140 odd, and that's comparable with the rest.
What, mile?
Oh, sorry, I'm still talking miles per hour.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so these things get up and go.
They do get up and go. I've got 140 odd horsepower at the crank and 115 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm comparable horsepower and probably got more torque than the others, but so it's very interesting.
But it all still comes down to how well you ride them, though, doesn't it, Barry?
You can't back off for 1 second, especially around this circuit here. It's hard work.
So it's a tough track, is it?
It's a tough track, and on 4 laps or 6 laps, you just can't. Every corner counts. So that's good anyway.
All right, great. Thanks for your time, Barry. And just before you go, you're going to wheel out the motorbike so everyone at home can have a good look at the old girl. All right, so Carl, what do you rate your chances?
Oh,
Very good.
fair, yeah, we'll be there.
You can't talk, you're out.
No, but I'm just speaking on behalf of Carl here, having raced with him for the last, 3 years?
Yeah, 4 years.
And seeing his exponential talent grow every week. He's now mixing it with ex-world second Robbie Phillips as ex-world racer.
It's going to be good. It'll be a mixed up bag, tight track. It's going to be who gets a good start. And we've got Guesty, Phyllis and Rexy, all the big boys in our class. So Stu Lolly, he's a good starter and contender. So it'll be a good race, actually.
Good.
Looking forward to it.
Some of the other blokes have been speaking to reckon it's a bit of a tough track. What do you say?
No, I'm not finding it too in your face. I reckon it's good. It's grippy. It's good riders track, small, tight, and just going to have to get out there and concentrate and stay in front and
That's the way.
and have a crack at it.
All right, well, all the best of luck to you,
Thank
Carl.
you.
Thanks for talking to us, Nev.
Thank you.
Bad luck, but we'll probably see you around at some stage, will we?
Oh, I hope so.
All right, thanks very much, fellas. Good on you. All right, now we've got a bit of a character here. The other blokes are getting a bit of carried. I don't know why. Seems like a really nice bloke to me. His name's Mr. Wilson. I reckon I don't know. How are you, Mr. Wilson?
Great, thanks very much.
Okay, tell us a little bit about the Ducati. Come on.
Just a 905cc bike that goes around in circles.
Does it go around in circles fairly reasonably?
Yeah, it goes quite well.
Now, it's a 1916 Indian Power Plus Speedway motor. It was brought out from America in about 1915, 1916, and Harold Parsons, the star rider of the time, used to ride the thing. It raced up to about 1918 and was put in a shed and left there until I found it about 8 years ago. And there she is, ready to run again, ready to race again. So quite a nice little motorcycle.
Okay, well, I hope I've shown you some of the characters and yahoos that are involved with motorbikes. That's not to say that they're all like that. Pretty much so, we found them out to be a great bunch of blokes. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of racing that we were able to bring to you, and that's just what we do at Bush Vision. Enjoy yourselves.